What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Gamescript Podcast, Episode 2, right?
Episode 2.
Different setup today than it was last week. We try to change things up a little bit. You'll see the setup change over the next couple of months as we transition with this whole thing. Moving into a new area. My boy Dre getting a new house, so we're going to be setting up some stuff over there. So bear with us as things change. Again, as always, I'm your host, Chris.
I'm Larry, co-host.
Andre, co-host as well.
All right, awesome. So what we're going to lead into the conversation with today is we're starting off with our favorite Jordan moment. All right, we're doing this because we got the documentary coming on tonight. Check it out. It's going to be a sight to see. I think we're all excited about it. I think they're showing episode 1 and 2 tonight, right?
I think it's just 1. I want to say it's just 1.
We got a total of 10 episodes.
10 episodes.
So we'll see. I think maybe it's 10 weeks though. That's a long ass time to be showing something on TV. I honestly think it's 2 episodes tonight.
A pair drive.
I think so.
I could be wrong. I didn't necessarily research it. I was too excited, just waiting on it to come out. So I don't know in which way they'll be releasing it, but I know for sure it's going to be 10 episodes in total.
Boom.
10 episodes in total.
All right, let's get it.
So with that being said, we're going to see a lot of Jordan inside documentary stuff we've never had a glimpse of before. Now, before we get into this, they're going to start breaking down, The Last Dance. What's your favorite Jordan moment of all time? Just when you think of it, like that just highlights your sports. Greatest basketball player of all time. I believe we all agree on that. What do you got, Larry?
Larry hesitated when you asked that question. He said,
LeBron?
Different
generation.
Bro. Y'all know, so I don't know. Look, I don't know if everybody knows I am the youngest in the actual group. So I didn't really get to experience Michael Jordan. So it's funny when Chris says that because I'm a huge LeBron fan, so my era is kind of LeBron. But I do have a favorite Jordan moment. So, I was looking and the first thing that came to mind, I think it was just easy for me to kind of get, trying to get the concept was the 91 finals, man. 91 finals, game 2, where Michael Jordan, bro, it's like a clutch moment. And, I'm big on sneakers. So Michael Jordan got on the black infrared 6s and he has the ball in hand. He's going at Sam Perkins, bro. And he gives you that right because, Michael Jordan's dominant right-handed player. And he transitions to the left and makes the layup. I think Michael Jordan ended up having 31 that game. Awesome moment. Big for sneaker culture, being at the infrared 6s are one of my favorite sneakers. And I was just in awe, dude. And I think I watched this in like 2010, 2009. So at that point, everybody knew how to switch hands. But just seeing the originator, his airness, like himself doing that, bro, it was just impeccable, bro. So that's my Jordan moment, man. That's my Jordan moment. And it's also his first championship. So I think it was pretty big. It was pretty big for me.
You went pretty far back with that 92.
I did, man. I did.
1992.
Yeah.
So before we started today, we were kind of talking about what we were going to kind of lead the conversation with today. And I did lean and say I don't have a favorite Jordan moment. I'm going to take a different approach on this. It might be a little corny to some people. But my favorite Jordan moment is when this man got drafted. Think about that. This is 1984. Jordan gets drafted. And over the next, say, 20 years, the game of basketball changed tremendously. Like, I can think of a couple of players who you consider like, hey, I guess, I wasn't born around that time. I wasn't alive around that time. And, who at that moment in time before Jordan got drafted, who they considered the best player ever. Who did they consider the best player ever before Jordan got drafted? Maybe was it Will? But Will? Kareem?
Man,
Kareem was still in the league, though.
Yeah, for sure.
He was on his way out, but he was still in the league.
I think he had manufactured stats already.
I would say his predecessor, as far as like guards and like being like that smaller guy, would be like Julius Erving.
Yeah,
it would be like Julius Erving.
Yeah, right.
But like if you research, like at that time, basketball was kind of dominated by big men. So at that point, that's why you got like them drafting bigger guys a little bit earlier before Jordan, just because the league had never seen a smaller guy just take over in that in that type of way.
100%. So mine is when Jordan got drafted, just because I think that once he got drafted, he changed the league so much. He did so much for the league, and there was no athlete who ever had that type of attention. The only person I can actually think of a sport would probably be like Babe Ruth, and I'm not really a big baseball fan, And I respect the sport, and I got a lot of love for the sport. I don't know a whole lot about
exactly.
Babe Ruth.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I think that once Jordan got drafted, that would probably be my number one Jordan moment.
Like as far as the influencer, what he
for
did
sure.
for not just the culture, but the league as well.
For general, like for league, like for sports, like all the endorsements that man used to get over the course of his career, like. Man,
Nike was happily paying them checks, saying he wasn't in dress code. We're gonna send you them checks. Don't even worry about it. Keep rocking them J's.
84, the year of Sam Bowie.
Damn,
who would have thought Sam Bowie, the biggest disappointment, bro?
And Akeem though, hey, don't forget about Akeem.
Can't forget about Hakeem.
That draft too.
Charles Barkley. A lot of great players. A lot of great players. The only reason why the Blazers missed out is because they already had Clyde. So it was like, okay, we got Clyde. You know what I'm saying? From what I had seen as far as recruitment, they said, you know, hey, we thought about taking Jordan, but we already got Clyde. We already got a guard. And Clyde was a pretty good player, bro. Like, let's not sleep on Clyde. He was a great player. Like, he's not Jordan, but, you know, he's
Houston.
He can get it done. He can get it
alumni
done.
right
exactly,
there.
Bro. Exactly.
So for another day, we need to talk about top draft, the number one draft, or what we think the best draft of all time is.
Best draft class?
Yeah. We can do NBA, we can do NFL.
Yeah.
Definitely top draft. We definitely need to save that
Great
for a later date. Let us know if y'all want to see that or if y'all want to hear that for sure.
And what sport too?
Definitely want to hop into that. We'll do the research and whatever else we got to do. I already know my answer for the best NBA draft, but we're gonna say that. We're gonna say that for that day. Go ahead. What you got, Dre?
Man, Jordan moment. You hit 84, 92. I'm bringing a little bit closer to 1998. Shot against the Jazz. Isolation. Brian Russell.
Push off.
The infamous push off is what I call it.
Hey, it was a push off with a little crossover push off. You know, it was clean. Hey. He got away with it. And you know what? That gave him 6 chips, 6 for 6. Never lost the championship. In that game, he put up 45 points. He carried the Bulls in that last game.
That's pretty dope.
And that's a Brian Russell team. Utah Jazz are actually pretty decent. They had John Stockton, they had Karl Malone, both Hall of Famers. But that shot, man, that's just one of the pictures that froze in time and just sits in your mind like, man, he just came in clutch right there. So Jordan moment right there, 1998. But there's so many. Like, there's no wrong answer. I think Jordan probably has an easy dozen.
Tons of moments.
Memorable moments.
Yeah, that's why it's so hard to pick, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Way more than LeBron, though.
For sure.
Yeah, more moments than LeBron.
One of the it's funny, I find it funny that you actually highlighted that moment because the actual documentary is gonna go into that year. You know what I'm saying? That's the last year that Jordan played as a Bull.
Is the documentary all about 1998?
It is actually footage of that last year. So essentially, just to kind of make it, you know, for our viewers who don't know, at that point, the GM had already told Phil Jackson, you can literally go 82-0 and you won't be the coach next year. So Michael Jordan, just being loyal, winning all 6 championships with Phil Jackson, he decided that was going to be his last year as well. So at that point, they allowed like unlimited access. So stuff that people normally wouldn't see, certain practices or scrimmages or anything like that people normally wouldn't get footage of, they gave 100% access. So that's kind of why this is big. I mean, like, this has just been hidden for years on top of years. And I just wanted to kind of tap into that when he said his moment was the last season. So
hey, so you know what came out last night about this documentary though? Is that Jordan wanted to release it when the Cavs had won the championship.
Oh my God.
Wow.
This is facts.
This bullshit.
It's by Bleacher Report.
Bullshit.
You're the biggest person sending Bleacher Reports that I know.
I like Bleacher Report. But don't get it wrong though. Don't just because it was from Bleacher Report doesn't mean that it's right or accurate.
What's your overall?
Okay, so my overall take on it, right, is that they waited 4 years to release this information, right? And I just think it's a setup. Whether it's right or whether it's true or not, it's twofold, right? My first view on it is, how was this presented to Jordan? Jordan didn't just come out of nowhere and say, hey, I want to release the 1998 basketball footage. He didn't just come out of nowhere and just say that. Somebody presented it to him like, hey, this was your last year with the Bulls, yada, yada, yada. Let's release this footage. How do you feel about it, right? That obviously is probably not exactly how the conversation went, but I doubt in my head that Jordan was like, all right, let's do it when the Cavaliers have their parade. And that's bullshit. I just don't think about it.
But it's a possibility. The reason I can see it's a possibility, right? Because we don't know the ends of it, right? We're looking from the outside in, and this is just news that came to us. Yeah. And what we do is we discuss news.
Exactly.
So when I see it, I say, yeah, it could be a possibility. Why is this a possibility? Because of how crazy and focused Jordan was on being the best and winning and everything like that.
Super competitive.
When anybody has a conversation about the greatest basketball player of all time, no one's putting Kobe next to Jordan, right? We got Jordan and Kobe, but people of this generation will compare LeBron and try to give that debate to Jordan, which it has its merits. Jordan's still my number one. LeBron's my number three. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But Mike might have just been like, you know what? Nah, let's release this. Let's get this focus back on me about winning these championships and not LeBron so much. Because in all honesty, Jordan, I got a tattoo of Jordan, huge. My first one I ever had in my leg. Big fan of Jordan, but he's not the best person in the world. The greatest athlete in basketball by far, but not the greatest person.
I mean, from what I've heard similar things like that, but I'm not in any position to sit here and judge that, man.
For sure.
But I think that, again, my view on it was, and like we talked about yesterday when we were texting back and forth, mind you, we had a long-ass text message battle about this shit last night.
I love the debate.
And
Didn't even read it.
Dre was doing something else and then got back on it and was just like, bro, I'm not even going to respond to that.
It's a freaking
just
book.
So long. But either way, my take on it was I just don't think the information was presented to Jordan the way it's coming off as in the media. And also, too, timing is everything, dude. And like I was saying Larry yesterday, that think about all the people who are born like after like 96, 97, who don't really care about Jordan, who didn't ever see him play, not once. And they're huge LeBron fans. What way to create more buzz and more, this media storm around the documentary coming out tonight, then come up with some stuff about LeBron and Jordan, or Jordan wanting to release the footage around the time that the Cavs won the championship in 2016. That's my issue, is that the timing of it is just perfect. It's just perfect timing. For sure. Right? Like, why now? For sure. This shit should have came out 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, or 2, or last year. Yeah. Why now? Yeah. That's my issue with it. Like, that's what makes me think it's all BS.
I mean, it could be, but back then, if Jordan said, hey, I want to release it, and they don't release it, is that even going to make a headline? Nah, it's not going to. You know what I mean? When he says, hey, I want to release Jordan. I want to release this thing, and they say, it's not ready. It's not going to be able to go. So it's not even going to hit a headline at that point.
So you think that if they would have released the information in 2016, it wouldn't have gotten a lot of views?
Nah.
Why not?
Nah, it just wouldn't have. Sports is going on. Right now, it's a perfect time. Everybody's going to tune into this because there's nothing going on right now. It's the perfect time to release it.
But nobody saw this going on.
No, of course not. But maybe it wasn't ready because they did a lot of other homework. They got Kobe interviews on here. They have Barack Obama interviews on here. Yeah. This took a lot of time to cut, edit, process, touch all these people.
For sure.
This is, So,
for sure.
We're just going to have to disagree on this one.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, time will
tell.
tell.
Whether it's true or not, even if Jordan does come out and say anything about it, he's going to come out and deny it.
For sure.
Either way. For you know what I mean? So
For
I guess we'll just wait and see, man, because at the end of the day,
Chris is just gonna skip my whole take. So I was waiting for my last take. I was waiting for my last. I'm gonna see into it. So the thing is, like, kind of like how Chris had spotlighted earlier. I'm gonna make it real short, but kind of looking at it, dude, I see 100% why Jordan would do this. The good thing is I'm first person as to it because, like I said, I didn't really get to witness Jordan as far as his dominance, but I'm always hearing constantly Jordan. And I just think that as far as looking and studying his competition, I don't think his competition rate was the same as LeBron. I'm also one of those morons that would say that the redeem team, as far as Kobe, LeBron, and Chris Paul, would beat the dream team. Like that's just my idea on it. Hey, follow me if you want to. But I see 100% reason as to why he would do it. I mean, you got to think about it. You got Golden State beating their record as far as the Bulls. A lot of people were challenging as far as like if the Warriors was a better overall team than the Bulls before they lost. Inside, they did lose, so I can't really say that. And then on the back end, you got this guy, this high school phenomenal player who's been getting a lot of attention from day one, coming in and just breaking a losing streak from Cleveland and bringing a chip back to his hometown in amazing fashion, coming back as the first team to come back from 3-1 to beat a team that had broken this record. So I think at that point that like ultimately put LeBron on a totally different level. And for me, kind of cemented LeBron over Kobe in just doing that. So I think, to me, it makes perfect sense as to why he would say, hey, let's go ahead and remind him who I am. I'm Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the greatest competitor we've ever seen. Like, they can't forget who I am. I'm Jordan.
The GOAT.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the GOAT.
Think that somebody's going to forget about what Jordan did for the league and what he did for basketball?
Hey, man.
Bro,
that dude got the most popular selling
like he said,
sports
though,
shoe of
like
all
this
time.
generation, they might recognize the shoe, but this generation didn't watch him play.
Just give it. Yeah. I mean, just,
sure.
I mean, like,
even more for them to release this
sure.
information so people can go watch it.
I mean, like, just
Possibility, Chris. There's possibilities.
Hey, I mean, like, even if you look at, like, I know now that we got free time with the quarantine, a lot of these players have been releasing their top 5 lists. I can give you one off the top of my head, Trae Young, and there's a few other players that have positioned LeBron over Jordan. So I think that's just a small sample size of people who didn't necessarily see LeBron. Didn't necessarily see Jordan, and they've seen LeBron and they've seen his dominance. So they haven't forgot who he is, but they never witnessed it just moment for moment like you are with LeBron. You know what I'm saying? You can catch what's the little highlights or whatever, like the little I'm kind of forget the name. It's ESPN, like a little show. But you can catch those highlights, but they haven't seen them play by play.
Oh, you're talking about like the show? Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. I think they definitely got me out of my seat with that one. So if it is true what you said, then it worked on me because I definitely was like, I gotta see this. I gotta see this, bro. I gotta see this.
I don't know. I honestly don't think.
But we were tuning in regardless.
Yeah,
we were tuning in
That's what I'm saying.
regardless.
It's irrelevant for us. Yeah. We're gonna watch it no matter what.
For sure.
But I still think at the end of the day that if Jordan does come out and even acknowledges it to begin with,
which he won't,
which he probably won't, because that won't put him in a position to deny it or confirm it. If he does come out, he will deny it. He ain't gonna say, "Oh yeah, absolutely, I told him to do that." Like he would look like a sleaze bag if he did that. You know what I mean?
Real
like,
Kevin Durant move.
It would look so bad for him if he did that. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I guess we'll just wait and see. Whatever happens, man.
Time may tell. We don't know though.
Exactly. Speaking of top 5s, right? So we want to go into. We said top 5 rappers all time.
You want to go there?
We can go right into that. We can go straight into that.
I don't know.
We can do top 5 rappers, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm not putting them in any specific.
Okay, hold
order.
on. Before we got there, because we have different best basketball players and things like that, outside of Jordan. Before we go to rappers, we'll go back to it.
Yeah.
Let's go to your best, biggest game in general. NBA. We'll stick to NBA because we're talking about basketball right now. It doesn't have to be Jordan. What is your biggest game just in all? Larry, you can leave this one off if you want to.
Playoff, non-playoff, all that, right?
All of it.
All of it.
Obviously, they're going to be playoff games.
Playoff games are more less.
Playoff games got to be way more.
Yeah,
man.
Crazy.
Playoff games gotta be way more. So me just being a LeBron fan, dude, the biggest game for me that just had me like crazy, dude, I can't even describe it. Game 7 of the 2016 finals, where you got LeBron going against Golden State. Like I said, Golden State had that record. And it's crazy that we just transitioned to that because we're just talking about that season, but they had that record, dude, and they're going against the Cavaliers. And there was no doubt in my mind that LeBron was going to lose, bro. I knew LeBron was going to lose. I was like, this team just got too much star power, bro. They faced adversity. They haven't been on many losing streaks. Like, the team, I just didn't see them losing, man. And when I seen LeBron just kind of dominate, take over, Kyrie also being one of my top players in this era, and just seeing Kyrie hit that shot, man, and just kind of clinch the whole finals like that, it was amazing for me. And then also it was great seeing LeBron win a title in Cleveland. Like, it was like, for all the naysayers that was like, oh, he needs Wade, he needs such and such. Okay, he built a super team. Just seeing him bring one back home after being their number 1 pick and disappointing them and just putting them on his shoulders, bro. That was the biggest game I've ever seen. And I think that was also the second most watched playoff game in history, man. So I think it was a pretty big game.
Because the Warriors were up 3-1.
The Warriors were up,
and they almost had it. Like that they almost clinched it. They let it go. They just fumbled it. They fumbled it, and LeBron took over. And I remember watching that, and I was like, I didn't think LeBron was going to pull it off. He did, and that helped him because if he would have had that, and he only has 2 chips right now.
He only has 2 chips.
Yeah, that would be a different.
Only has 2
that would be a different conversation. But now he finally won one with Cleveland. Cleveland, long deserved that one because they have been without forever. My biggest game though, also a LeBron game. Also a LeBron game. Gotta pay the dues. Yeah. 2013. Game 6 in the finals. Where James actually missed. He made a couple clutch before that, but he missed that one. Yeah, Bosh rebound, passed it out to Ray Allen. I think LeBron had 10 seconds when he put it up. Bosh got it, passed it. Ray Allen had 5 seconds to shoot it. Nothing but net, no rim. That was it, man. And the San Antonio team was stacked, too, bro. They had Parker, Ginobili, Leonard, like great coaching. That was just a great series. And
arguably the greatest coach.
And, I mean, he was stacked. I mean, it was just a great playoff series. Ray Allen in there, Chris Bosh, LeBron. Like,
can't go wrong.
You can't ask for really more than that. Like,
can't go wrong with the Heatles, man. Yeah. Heatles was great.
They had a squad, bro.
They had a squad.
I like that game.
There was the second super team essentially in the NBA. Second super team.
The crazy thing about it, that game was over, bro, until Ray Allen.
Yeah, that was the series was over right there. Yeah, that was a series.
Have you guys ever seen it in slow motion, that play that you're referring to? And it's like you literally see Chris Bosh grab the rebound, and then Ray Allen, just knowing who he is and seeing the score, takes a step back behind the 3-point line, catches it, and like, I mean, I don't know, for all the people that are watching who play basketball, you don't know how hard it is to catch the ball, get a nice grip, or just have it to where your hands are placed where they need to be, and then all net.
And the momentum going with the step back. That's like a pre-hardened step back at that, and it was
dude. That's that was a great game. I love that pick, bro. Yeah. I love that pick. That was a great game.
I'm going with the 2000, again, being a monster Lakers and Kobe fan. I respect both of those picks, but I'm going with the 2000 NBA Finals, Game 7, Western Conference Finals, sorry. Game 7 of the Lakers versus Portland Trail Blazers. The Lakers were winning that series 3-1. Portland came back all the way to tie the series 3-3 or force a Game 7. And the Lakers were down about 15 points with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Wow. And they came back and won the game, bro. That right there was crazy. Like, the whole energy behind that was nuts. And that game, I felt like, solidified the Lakers dynasty, because after that, bro, it was no looking back.
Yeah.
Like, it was no looking back. And they just steamrolled the NBA over the next couple of years. And they hadn't lost 3 games in a row all season leading up to that game. Yeah. So it was low chances for the Blazers to win that game to begin with. But just the whole thought process, man, and Kobe throwing that ball up to Shaq, man, and him throwing it down. And you look at some interviews, Shaq said that was one of his favorite moments as a player as well. And he said he just told Kobe to throw it up as high as he can. And Kobe just threw that joint up there. He caught that bad boy and slammed it down too.
Yeah,
it was crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Nuts.
Hey, man. And like, it's just kind of picking back off of what you said, me growing up as a Laker fan as well, that was definitely one of like the biggest moments. And the one thing that comes to my mind is just him kind of making like Scottie Pippen forever be on a poster with the whole crossover, switching them. Yeah. Sure. I mean, with the whole crossover, and then Shaq dunking the ball, coming back with both hands up, like just kind of letting you know, bro. That was definitely one of the biggest moments. And just me being young and Kobe kind of being a person that made me watch basketball, bro, that was one of my happiest moments as far as childhood. So I get like nostalgic feels from that. And then I think they even made like a little commercial with the same type play, and they took all the people from the crowd out. Like, it was definitely like a big moment, bro. Like, yeah, that's a good game, dude. Nuts. I think everybody got great picks, man. Iconic. That was a good game. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All of them are fire. So
yeah.
We're doing 5 rappers in the last, how long?
Decade? We can do 90s, 2000s,
we could do
and the last decade.
90s to 2000s.
Well, let's do the last decade, and then we'll jump back into time.
So you trying to do over the last 10 years?
10 years.
Yeesh. Are we doing rappers that are still alive? So we doing rappers that have been active.
Whoever. I mean, whoever you got the last 10 years. But it's kind of like their body of work and everything. Not album sales.
Not album sales. Okay, cool. Okay.
I got 4 of my 5. Let me think of another one.
But hold up. Okay. So here's where we kind of got to draw, the line in the dirt. So we're all going to do top 5. And like, I know everybody's going to be listening. are we doing top 5 as far as like who you feel is best?
We doing
or are we
lyrics. We doing lyricists.
But is it who is your personal top 5?
You can do personal top 5.
Or is it top 5?
No,
it's all subjective though.
Yeah, it's very subjective because there's no way to grade it. So let's go personal with lyrics. Lyrically, yeah. Because as a rapper, that's what you got to do.
Can we do? I don't think it's fair to do lyrics though. Because there are great rappers who make great music and they're not probably the most lyrical.
Okay, then their body of work and stuff like
body
that.
Of work.
Yeah.
Okay,
but not album sales, not
gotcha,
nothing
gotcha,
like that. No radio.
We're not based it off of commercial success.
No.
Gotcha.
Okay, but go ahead, Larry. You want to go first?
Nah, I don't want to start.
Okay, I'm hopping in there. I'll just dive right on in.
Go
I
into
got Kendrick Lamar. This is not in order.
Okay.
K-Dot is like my favorite rapper.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar. I got Eminem. I got Jay-Z. I got J. Cole. And I got Kanye.
Ooh, okay. So we got to stop right there. So that's a great list, Chris. But now you're kind of bending the rules.
How am I bending the rules?
Of the past decade.
I agree.
You got to go within the past decade. So
that's why I asked you who was active.
Let me set the groundwork.
That's why I asked that question before. Because you talking about Jay-Z?
Jay-Z and M can't. They can't.
That's what I was asking.
Okay.
Because if that's the case, because Eminem made some decent music over the last 10 years. Not necessarily the best.
He's not gonna agree with that. But lyrically, he's
bro,
still there.
Still fired. Oh, lyrically?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Eminem. Okay.
Lyrically.
Let's just focus on his list, and I'll wait when it's my turn.
So you telling me lyrically, Eminem is not better, damn near better than all the rappers that rap right now?
Okay, so I would say this. Eminem is still a great rapper as far as rapping, lyric wise. Has his music grown or transitioned into the current era like
Why
it
should? He have to?
Well, no. I'm meaning like, does his music still hold the same weight or effect as it did? Like, has he transitioned into currently what we listen to? No, not Will. Like, as far as sales,
Nas?
like,
no,
Nas.
There's a lot of rappers who haven't. You know what I mean? So,
and therefore,
why should they have to?
And therefore, I wouldn't put him on the list.
I guess since some niggas ain't making music like Migos, they ain't.
No.
I think it's just the way we're breaking it down. So this is mine, and I'm gonna expand it a little bit.
Okay, go
because that will bring some clarification to what he's saying right now. With the 90s, I got Pac, Biggie, Scarface, Jay-Z. That's 4. My number 5 changes a lot. There's a lot of plugs and plays with my number 5 on the 90s. I mean, those are all staples. I don't think they can really be disputed. They're at least going to be in everybody's top 10, unless they're like, some people like to pick coast. Like East Coast guys only pick the East Coast rappers.
No, I know
That's
what
they
you
do. The 2000s. Now, that's where I got M in 2000s. Because M was body and work in 2000s.
Yeah.
So I got M, I got J, I got Common actually in the 2000s because Common was slept on. He's lyrically crazy. Atmosphere, which you guys don't know, but just because you don't know him, doesn't take him out of my top 5.
Okay.
My 5th one, once again, it changes. I'm not going to put a 5th one in there. Now I'm going to jump over the last decade, right? 2010s till now. And on that, I got Cole. I take Cole over K-Dot. It's just a preference. Both of them can spit. I just think Cole is much more like, he's more poetry. K-Dot plays with his voice a lot. Yeah. Same. Big Sean, actually. I'm putting Big Sean in my last decade.
I'm saying, if you were just going to do it again, that's why I asked specifically, are we just talking about, again, you said total body of work over the last 10 years, right? That's what you said at the beginning, right? Total body of work over the last 10 years.
Top 10 rappers of the last decade.
Yeah.
So
Dre was saying that.
Top 10 or top 5? We said top 5.
Top 5. Yeah, so you can add some
honorable mentions. Over the last decade and their body of work and their lyrics. And I guess that changes shit a little bit. And I have to take him and Jay-Z out. But only reason I put them in there is just because they've been making music over the last. Yeah. They made music over the last decade.
All time, both of them are in my top 5.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Both of them all time in the top 5. Yeah. Sure. So I'll go Cole, Big Sean, K-Dot. I'm actually going to probably put Royce to 5'9" in there. He's just released like 5 albums in this last decade. They're just nice with it. And once again, I fall into that 5th one where I can't really pick anybody. Probably Apathy. That's a personal favorite for me. Lyrically, he's insane. He's not going to be in most people's more hardcore underground.
For sure.
That's just personal pick right there.
Understood. Okay.
Larry, what we got, baby? What we got?
Okay, so that kind of leaves it on me. I'm gonna kind of stay within the decade, just kind of like going over that. I love 90s rap, by the way. I'm gonna kind of say in the decade. Just kind of, you said not really doing a particular order. I'll just give you 5 artists. K Dot, I definitely agree with Chris. K Dot is one of my favorites of many. K Dot has an awesome discography. If Macklemore wasn't a little bit too light skinned, he probably would have 3 Grammys for all of his top albums. So he does have 2 Grammys already for the other 2 projects. Yeah, we got I'm gonna put Cole in there, of course. Cole has to be in there. He drops great bodies of work. Friday Night Lights is one of my favorite mixtapes or projects just in general. I'm gonna have to say Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle is my second, if not my first favorite artist. I love Nipsey Hussle. Love the movement. Like, love his body of work, dude. Inspired me like big time. And I don't know why he didn't come up, bro. I don't know what's going on in here, bro. But Drake has to be the top artist of the decade. I mean,
here's the thing, though. This is where the shit gets sticky. Is because Drake and the ghostwriting shit got me all
exactly what it is.
Mixed up.
So that's my thing. Is
I would have put him in there
our
if
top
you took the lyrics
10
out.
rappers of the decade. Yeah, if we're talking about pop, we're talking about culture. Yeah, with ghostwriters.
Hold up. I got you. I know it's smoke. I'm coming for the smoke. I know it's smoke. What we'll do is we will elaborate on the different things we've seen from each other's top 5. Give me, just give me my last one. Just give me my last one. Last one, as far as that for me, is gonna be Big Sean. So I got Drake. So just to kind of reiterate my list, I got Kendrick, I got Cole, I got Drake, I got Sean, and I got Nipsey. So those are my top 5 in this decade, meaning that they like kind of dominated this era, but also kind of started in this era. So I'm not gonna go beyond 2010. I'm not gonna go before that because obviously Jay's my GOAT, but I'm not gonna go before 2010. So those are all more recent artists.
All right, gotcha. So I gotta redo mine. So yeah, K Dot for sure. J. Cole. I'm going with Kanye. Period. Kanye gotta be in there. And anybody sleeping on that man's lyrics, bro, he's shitting on Drake. Period. I don't care what anybody say about that. He is, bro. Kanye didn't sell.
Hold up though. Let's go back to the thing,
bro.
No. So Kanye West's first album is College Dropout,
okay,
which is 2002.
Okay.
Kanye West is an artist that's dominated the 2000s and transitioned to post 2010. So you got to have all newbies.
You can give me 2010 to 2015. He still smacked a lot of people. Maybe not these people in the list, but everybody else outside the list. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I'll take Big Sean.
Okay, give me the
I'll
rest.
take K Dot, J. Cole, Big Sean, Kanye, and like I like Drake's music. Like, don't get it twisted.
For sure.
I love Drake's music. He makes some fire.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But the ghostwriting shit just really twisted.
It takes it away. That's what it is.
It's all twisted, man. So on number 5.
Okay.
Hold on, I had K. Cole, Kanye, Big Sean. Okay, you got one more.
Okay.
Number 5.
Who you got at 5?
That's tough.
You don't got a personal go to. It doesn't have to be like.
It can be personal. As far as like your favorite, don't have to be widely regarded as top.
No,
for sure.
Go
to. Yeah.
Just somebody who's I'm gonna put their shit in my radio and listen to. Put it in my CD player and listen to. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, to be honest with you, bro, because I'm a huge K Dot fan.
Gotcha.
Like I'm jamming him 90% of the time.
What's
your favorite K Dot project overall?
First one.
The first one?
Kid, Mad City.
Good.
By far.
Well,
I rock. Woo,
you like that one?
That
was hard, right?
He got real excited about that right there.
That was hard.
The first. Damn go hard, too. Like, don't get it twisted. His Untitled go hard, too.
Dude. I cannot believe.
ADHD go hard, too.
So just kind of turning in. So I'm a big music person in general. So a lot of times I can go into whoever's favorite artist and tell them, in some cases, more about their favorite artist. I'm just shocked that Chris did not say To Pimp a Butterfly. I feel like To Pimp a Butterfly is Kendrick's best album and arguably one of the best albums that I've ever listened to. I mean, when you think about just the overall message as far as like Black excellence, the story behind it, I mean, the man was just going back and forth, bro. I mean, you got Prince samples, you got different samples as far as funk. Not many people can incorporate funk and make a classic hip hop album,
bro. But I felt like that album was political, man. I don't want to listen to that shit all the time, to be honest with you. I don't want to listen to no political ass music all the time. Like, it's cool every once in a while to get a vibe, but Good Kid, Mad City, Raw, Kendrick Lamar, I need to go out here and get this fucking bread. I need to make the best album I've ever made, in essence, at that point in time. This is what you gonna get. That shit is fire. Like, he got some classic.
It's like curiosity. To Pimp a Butterfly or Reasonable Doubt? What do you got?
For sure, Reasonable Doubt.
Okay, just
for sure. Reasonable Doubt, and then just like for the audience who doesn't know, Good Kid, Mad City is Kendrick Lamar first major label discography album, sure. But of course we do know about Section 80 and Overly Dedicated, which are also good projects as well. So. Yeah, but just kind of like going into the list and just kind of getting, an idea. How did you feel about Dre's list?
I like his list.
You like his list?
It's a personal preference.
It's personal preference.
It's subjective.
Upcomer I got honorable mention, Joyner Lucas. He just hasn't been around long enough, but I have not heard anything whack from Joyner. So
nah, he's nice, bro.
He's nice. He's next up.
He's nice. He's nice. He's nice.
He doesn't have enough under his belt yet.
He's nice.
Really
He's nice. The only defense that I would have for my list, because as I was going over my list, I was brutally interrupted. Right, I was brutally interrupted
by Drake.
Yeah, by Drake. So as far as, so we're just talking about overall great artists. As far as moving the culture, bro, and just like having hit after hit in the greatest run, I think Drake kind of trumps a lot of people, bro. A lot of people. Drake. Yeah, for sure.
Bro,
I think
he makes great music.
Great music.
Don't get it twisted. He got a lot of support and a lot of help.
Now, the only thing about that where I would have to defend myself in that regard is you can't make that statement and put Kanye West on your list. Because Kanye West is known as a producer, but I can give you offhand three people who have no, meaning that Kanye West does not write his own music. Like, I can give you three people that are known for writing Kanye West music.
That's my issue with Kanye.
He's I mean, as far as like discography, one of the best. Like, I would have to agree with that. But you got GLC, Consequence, as well as Saha. So they all come together as one, and then they create Kanye's.
Who's producing Kanye's music?
Kanye West.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Because who's producing Drake's music?
But I can't. Drake
writing Drake's music.
Drake writes majority of his music. Kanye West does not.
But see, the thing about Drake,
we're talking about rappers though.
It's left foot slide, right foot slide. Like that's when I put lyrics and stuff. When I'm talking about lyrical people, Drake doesn't follow into that. Drake has a vibe. Don't get it messed up. You put Drake on, the kids are happy, the guys are happy, the chicks are happy. It sets the mood. It's great, like ride to music and stuff like that. It's not like insightful or anything, but it vibes well.
Can I will agree. Can I ask you one question? Have you visited Drake's discography?
What do you mean visited? Looked at it
like
online?
no, not looked at. Have you listened to Drake's album as a whole? Like Drake albums as a whole?
Bro, they're fire.
Okay.
He got some good music.
So what I say is, me just knowing Dre and being a close friend of Dre, I know Dre is kind of like more into lyrics. He's more tuned into lyrics and not necessarily a pop type of artist. But what I think Drake does a good job of, he kind of infiltrates each market. So on the radio, you're going to hear radio hits. But if you dive into, I will challenge anybody who doesn't feel like Drake can bar people up. If you dive into his discography, Drake can actually rap. Drake has tracks to where he's straight spitting. I mean, he makes commercial records. He can take any flow. But when it comes to rapping, I've literally heard him go back and forth with some of the
early Drake,
not so much.
Yeah,
not so much.
You say early Drake, not so much.
And to
not so much lyrics. More
to touch on my 90s list, as of today, right now, Pun is my number 5. Okay. Even though he doesn't have a big body of work, but lyrically, Pun was just
unstoppable.
Yeah, it was insane.
Cool. So 90s, you gonna do your 90s?
90s, okay. Well, just going in the 90s. I would have to say for me, I'm gonna go and I can kind of say, I got Jay, I got Nas, I got Big. I can give you Face, and then I want to say in the 90s, I'll say Pac. I'll give you Pac. It kind of hurt. It kind of hurt for me to say Pac because I'm more kind of East Coast. I really like East Coast in the 90s. Love the East Coast, but I can give you an order as far as my favorite artists on Jay being number 1 and Big being number 2. Just in my honest opinion, I feel like if Big was only reason why Big is not number 1 because Big only has 2 albums. If I let Big keep on going album for album, I just feel like, man, nobody can touch that kid, dude. As far as like storytelling, metaphors, punchlines, bars, I had never seen a flow as great as Big's.
So what I like about these two lists we put together, I just realized this as we're talking. We got 1 West Coast artist, 1 Southern artist, and 3. But I mean, the East Coast was killing it back.
I'm
in
gonna
the
round it
90s.
off.
Yeah. So what you got there, Chris?
So I got Big, I got Pac, I got Jay, I got Twista. Twista being from
Twista's nice.
Twista is fire.
Twista's nice.
And I would pick Nas. I almost want to pick Andre 3000, but
it would be acceptable.
He wasn't an artist. He was Outkast.
Yeah.
So if you differentiate that, I'll go with Nas. That's how I'll differentiate the two, because I will pick Andre 3000 over Nas. But, but I'm picking Twista because it's a hometown favorite for me. You know what I mean? Like his music is fire. But you're going Larry with the dramatics over here with that.
My boy said Nas, man. Hey, bro, you talking about Nasir, man. The Genesis, man.
Nas is
Hey, Nas is like.
Nas
Hey,
is
man.
fire though, bro. Bro, but Andre 3000 is fire.
Can you give me? Hey,
Illmatic or Reasonable Doubt?
He keeps on.
No, I gotta make this point. I gotta put him on a hot seat.
Reasonable Doubt.
Is that strictly for me? Is that for me?
That's definitely for you.
All right. Man, that's hard, dude, because you can't go wrong with either, dude. I love Premier behind that Illmatic, but again, for my viewers out there, I'm definitely like Jay-Z biased. So I'm gonna say Reasonable Doubt. Reasonable Doubt is arguably, if somebody asks me, hey, pick an album that you can go to like a foreign island and just listen to every day, I'm probably gonna say Reasonable Doubt. Like I can play Reasonable Doubt back, forth, and it came out in '96, dude. And I just feel like even today, a lot of the game and just message I get from that dude, I feel like Jay, when he dropped that, bro, it was different. It was different, dude. So I'm gonna say Reasonable Doubt. I'm definitely gonna say Reasonable Doubt.
Okay, gotcha. Again, all this shit is subjective, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no wrong answer.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Just
I know back in, dude, I don't know what year it was. I think it was 2003, 2004, back when they had BET. Actually, I think BET's still on TV, but they did a top 10 rappers of all time, like a show. Like it did a show. It was like a one-time segment. It was like a couple of hours. And they did everybody, bro.
Yeah.
It was everybody, and they did lyrics, they did album sales, they did everything. You know what I mean?
But
crazy.
Problem with their shows is then that's when you get the Nellies up there and like.
No, Nelly was on there. He was on top. He was top 5 or top 10.
Yeah, see, I can't like
top 6 or top 5. You know what I mean? He sold some albums, but
he doesn't belong along the guys right here. Yeah, I mean, come on.
That boy started making over and over again. that shit,
bro. That country grammar was nice, bro. That country grammar was nice,
bro. What?
That country grammar was nice.
Everybody, bro, talking about Nelly,
back.
bro. Nelly made some hot ass music.
What?
Talking about some Air Force One.
What?
Dominated. Everybody wanted to get Forces after that shit.
Dominated, bro.
Even if you wasn't rocking them already, everybody was making Forces. So let's think about. Okay, so let's talk about one song that made the biggest impact on your childhood.
Oh,
that's a good.
That's a good one, bro.
Because one song that made the biggest impact on your childhood.
That's a good one.
And since we're talking about rap, we can just keep it in rap. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything else. But the one song that made the biggest impact on your childhood.
Man, give me a moment here. I gotta cross some people out.
Think about where you're from. Think about where you're from. Think about like there's gonna be a bajillion people who disagree with us on this shit. Yeah. But check me out. I don't care. I don't care at all.
I don't care, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this is our childhood. This is where we came from, where we grew up at. I grew up in the Midwest, so I gotta pick some shit that's gonna rock for me.
For sure.
Whenever I was a kid, bro. You know.
For sure.
Because everybody's gonna pick. Oh man, well I'm picking Biggie. You know, Life After Death. Nigga, you wasn't even born.
Nah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For
like
sure,
I figured
sure.
Biggie life after death.
For sure.
One song,
and everybody ain't crate diggers, bro. Like me,
for sure.
Me, I'm definitely a crate digger. So anytime somebody talking like too much like smack about somebody and how good they are, I'm like, man, let me go dig up this crate, bro. Let me go check out this discography and see what they talking about, bro.
All right.
Who
you got?
I'm ready, man. I'm already ready.
I'm thinking about mine.
So me, man, I must say, and like I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but for the podcast reasons, I will say, dude, the biggest song was that
Don't do it for podcast.
No. It's me. It's me. But dude, the biggest song for my childhood, dude, was Many Men, bro. Many Men by 50, dude. Like when 50,
I like that. I respect that.
When 50 came out, killed it, bro. Like 50 was just dominant, and at that point, I didn't understand how great or how great Jay was or how great Nas was. But I seen this guy come out with a bulletproof vest, with a cosign from Dr. Dre, Eminem, and just I remember the album to this day had the little bullet shots on it with the little black background, bro. Yeah. And I remember that song. I was just like, Many Men wish death for pun. And like at that point, bro, I even started slurring my words. Like I started doing push-ups in the mirror, bro. Like 50 had the little tank tops. I had the G-Unit tanks. My mom tried to buy me some Jordans, man, and I was like, nah, give me them G-Units right there, man. Give me them G-Units, bro. 50, hey, that song right there, it kind of changed, like, just like my love with music, man. Like, 50 kind of, that whole Many Men was great, bro. It was great. It was easy for me. What you got, Chris?
I'm thinking.
This is a rough
I'm thinking
one.
so many different moments in my life.
You kind of sprung this on me out of nowhere.
Am I thinking, even though it was my question, right? And I just thought about that shit just now we was having that conversation. But are we thinking about high school? Or are we talking about like weird, like elementary school, junior high?
You said childhood.
I was thinking elementary childhood.
As in high school, I was still a kid.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll take it.
Still part of my childhood. Yeah. Damn.
I'm thinking something like kind of earlier on, like in life. That's what I think.
Okay, so if we're going that far back, if we actually going to do like childhood, like when I was a kid, I asked my aunt for Christmas. I think I was in like, how old was I, man? I was young.
Yeah.
I asked my auntie. It might have been in high school, but I asked my auntie for Doggy Style by Snoop, right?
Yeah.
So on there, I'm gonna have to go with gin and juice. I'm gonna have to go with that just because, bro, that shit when I was a kid, just the whole vibe, even though I didn't even know what the fuck he was talking about, just the whole vibe of gin and juice was just crazy for me. Just rolling down the street. Hey, that shit was so fire for me.
So smooth.
Oh, bro, it was fire. Like I love that when I was young.
For sure.
Even again, didn't know what gin and juice was. I just liked the whole vibe. Snoop was cool to me, man.
Snoop was super cool, bro.
Cool ass dude.
Snoop was super cool. And then just like a side note on that, how did you guys? And I know we still got to get into Dre's biggest song. Just a side note while he's coming up with it. How do you guys feel about Snoop as far as being on like lists? Because there are some people that put like how he was referencing how dominant Snoop was. There are some people that put Snoop as far as like their top 10, top 5, things like that. And I'm gonna just kind of start. The reason why I asked is because in my humble opinion, and I've definitely listened to a lot of Snoop records. I really don't feel like I feel like Snoop was like a how can I say this? Kind of like a T-Mac. I feel like Snoop had his great years, just like T-Mac.
T-Mac is in the Hall of Fame.
Snoop is in the Rap Hall of Fame. Yeah. But at the end of the day, T-Mac is not listed as one of the like best play. Like KD is better than T-Mac. You know what I'm saying? Like KD is gonna go down better than T-Mac. I'm saying like Snoop had some great years when he was the best. You know what I'm saying? Because he was the best. But at the same time, I don't feel like Snoop is a great candidate. I feel like when you talk his discography, only 2 albums to me just come to mind that stood out as classics.
It's crazy.
Doggy Style, Chronic.
But think about it though, bro. How many people got classic albums?
That's a good one.
You know what I mean?
50,
Not that
but
many
thing
people
is,
got classic albums.
It's hard to have a lot. Like 50, 50's always be remembered. One album. One
classic album.
That's all we got out of them. It takes a lot to be those Eminems, those Jays, those Tupacs. That's the Mount Rushmore right there. And then you got everybody else, and they're like, they're just not showing up on the dollar bill.
Jay-Z got crazy amount of classic albums. Like,
you think so?
Yeah, I mean,
as far as collection, I got to give it to Jay. I mean,
As
we
far
never
as
know.
best collection.
Yeah,
Or
we
like
never know
total
about
body of work. Overall
yeah,
total
like
body of work.
I can't say that Pac is over Jay for me because Pac got cut off early,
Yeah, for sure,
unfortunately.
for sure.
And
Yeah,
but Pac was never missing. But the only person we've seen it do it decade after decade after decade is Jay.
Yeah,
As
crazy.
a whole, and not to go like into each person, because I still want to stay on topic. As far as Jay albums, which ones do you find like that are classic? Like both of you guys.
Reasonable Doubt is my number one
For sure.
all time go to. I make
Okay.
a list right here of my top Jay albums. I'm a fan, bro. I'm a fan till now to 444. And I know a lot
444
of
is nice.
I thought it was solid. Like,
Was it classic though? It wasn't classic.
probably not classic,
classic.
but as of right now, it's super, 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 super solid. So let's go over Jay's. Let me pull it up. And let's go over. Larry already knows his body of work by
I
heart.
know
So,
of every album.
so let's go.
That's
We're gonna
classic.
go
For
Reasonable
me.
Doubt
Okay, that's a classic. That's a Reasonable Doubt's a classic.
in my lifetime,
Nah, that's not a classic.
but it has good songs on it.
Good
not
song,
a classic.
good song. But no, we just want to go over classics. I'm just saying like classics.
Okay, Volume 2 is where he surfaced more mainstream,
More commercial.
more commercial. Not a
Not a
classic,
classic.
though.
Not a classic.
I actually like Volume 3.
You like Volume 3?
I like Volume 3.
You like Volume 3 is nice.
Volume 3 is nice. The Dynasty, Blueprint is
Blueprint is a classic.
No,
Yeah,
That's
I
a
was gonna
classic.
go with Blueprint.
That's a classic.
We're gonna keep
I'm
that
going
best
for-
of both worlds off of this list.
Yeah,
for
for sure.
obvious reasons.
For sure.
You know, I like Magna Carta Holy Grail. I like that. It's fire. To me, I like that shit, bro.
Let's see here.
What you got as far as a classic?
Man, Blueprint 2. You putting that on there?
I got the Blueprint.
You're not taking the Blueprint 2?
You not
Blueprint
taking the
for sure.
Blueprint?
All right, so
Or the Black albums.
So I was at the only reason why I asked is because I just wanted to get a different opinion on it. I have Jay sitting at I want to say if you include Watch the Throne, I'm gonna give Jay 4. If you include Watch the Throne, I'm gonna say as far as his albums, I got
collab.
yeah
The Black Album, man. I gotta
Black
get the Black
Album.
Album.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I got Black Album, Blueprint, Reasonable Doubt, and I got Watch the Throne. If you want to include that as far as being like classic albums, I think he's right. I 100% agree with everybody here. I think Jay has the best body of work as far as just like being consistent, because the ones that are not classics are not flops, but kind of just like he said. How many people got multiple classic albums, bro? You know what I'm saying?
It's really
how many
difficult.
I mean, even Nas, really, I
Yeah.
think he only got one. You don't give Nas more than one?
I gotta give Nas more than one.
Classic. Classic is a different pedigree. Now that I really start to
Classic.
think
So
about
you
it, bro.
think that? So you think that Jay got the most classics, right?
You think he thinks Jay got the most
I
classics?
think so, yeah.
I got Nas with 3. I got Nas with 3 classic albums. Are you curious as to which albums?
Very curious.
You curious as to which? Okay, so I got you. So in Nas 3 albums, I'm gonna give Nas Illmatic for obvious reasons.
That's the one, yeah.
What is that? What is that? It Was Written. It Was Written is a great album. Influenced time as far as like a class. Like for me, that's definitely It Was Written is a classic. And then I got Stillmatic, bro. Stillmatic was nice. Stillmatic was nice. You got the intro. You got Ether. I mean, bro, Stillmatic was nice. One mic. I feel like Stillmatic was and you got Rewind. I'm the man.
You're the man.
Yeah, You're the man. So yeah, I got Nas with 3, bro. I think we're kind of sleeping on Nas.
I'll
bro.
give Stillmatic.
sleeping on Nas.
I'll
Nas
give
is fire.
Stillmatic. I played it a lot when it came out. I haven't played it in recent years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it 2. But that's all.
You give me
I'm
2?
gonna really give you.
All
bro.
right, man. Hey, I'm telling you, man. That It Was Written. Replay that It Was Written, bro. Dude is killing it, man. With the Street Dreams. I Gave You Power. I'm just giving you tracks off the top of my head, like just off knowing which one.
DMX.
DMX.
Woo!
DMX is nice.
DMX.
How do we forget about
That's
the
somebody who
dog?
transitioned the 90s
Hey,
to the 2000s.
hey.
DMX got some bangers,
Hey,
bro.
how can we
Bro,
how can we forget about
DMX.
X?
Nobody forgot about
Yeah.
DMX.
Them first 2
For
that
sure.
came out were
For
like
sure.
flawless.
For sure. You know what's
DMX
funny?
is fucking flame.
You know what's funny, man? The crazy part about it, and I was just having a conversation with my dad because he's big into music too. When you look at it, man, the thing that makes like just not kind of zoning off of X, Jay's great because even if he wasn't the best artist at that time, he was in the running. You just got to be in the running. You don't have to be the best artist of each year after year after year. But just kind of the reason how I got on that was because, dude, at that point, 98, 99, a lot of people had X over J, bro. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people had X over J because J hadn't just transitioned to the obvious king of New York.
Cranking out bangers. 98, 99, and 2000. He dropped all them joints.
The only guy that'll kill you and then say a prayer for you. Right?
He dropped them all. He actually dropped. He dropped. It's Dark and Hell is Hot in 98 and Flesh to Flesh Blood.
Same year.
So what happens is he was the first person to go like platinum back to back within like 6 months or something like that in history.
It went,
like
it went quadruple platinum, and then Flesh to Flesh Blood My Blood went triple platinum, and then there was X went 5 times platinum.
Wow, that's nice numbers. Let's not let my boy skate off without giving us his answer though. I still need that answer, Dre. What's your just kind of like going back into? I know we kind of like to. A lot of times we like to elaborate on different topics, but what's that song that just did it for you as far as your childhood? Because I'm interested. I'm for sure intrigued.
I had to sit there and break down a few. I was thinking, first of the month, things like that. But I'm gonna have to go back. Real nostalgic, man. I had a cassette player.
Okay.
Notorious Juicy. Man, I used to have that shit pumping, hit that young rewind, and it was just a vibe, man. I used to be on the school bus and just go, and man, I thought about a few Bone Thugs too.
I forgot about
Thuggish Ruggish Bone, and like
first of them,
man,
fire,
fire. But that Juicy
was nice.
The beat was perfect, the lyrics, the storytelling and everything was that was
nice.
I'm officially reneging on mine, and I got First of the Month by Bone Thugs. I forgot about that. Oh, it's so hard to remember all these songs.
Man, that's hard.
I know you put me down to one.
That's why I was like, I didn't really have time to think about it. I just thought about it.
Yeah.
Thought about that topic. I was like, man, this is actually a good little segue for us. But yes, First of the Month.
Yeah. And then just kind of like me jumping on that Juicy bandwagon, dude. Juicy is definitely a great song because if you look at like hip hop history, that's one of the first ones like where at that point a lot of people were in that rugged like hardcore stage, and you got P Diddy, and you got to give respect to Puff Dude, just kind of seeing the overall picture and then having that sample come on and just telling Big, hey bro, I know you don't like the beat, I know it's kind of corny, bro, but it's gonna get us on radio. Because at that point you had a lot of New York artists like Nas and like Wu-Tang that were strictly in the streets. They had like just straight up gangster hardcore East Coast rap, but you got a great lyricist jumping on that soulful beat and just killing it, dude. And that's what I think really kind of put Biggie like in a different category, because you got a lot of underground East Coast artists, but Big is mainstream as well as he's respected by like rappers. You know what I'm saying? He's your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's dope, bro. That's dope. What we got up next?
Bro, I'm looking at these damn DMX.
Just thrown away, right?
I'm blown. Like, I knew his shit was fire, and you think about it, bro. This is really before streaming was hot.
For sure.
So they changed all the RIAA certification. Like, you had to sell 1 million albums in order for your shit to go platinum.
Yeah.
It's not like that no more.
Yeah. I think
it's way different.
Yeah,
now.
I think now, man, they ended up coming out with a different formula as far as like grading success. So I think now it's like a certain number of streams. Yeah. How long it was played as far as like going into it, and then they kind of convert that into album sales.
But you gotta remember, like back in the day compared to right now. Because I remember when I was a kid, you don't have much money as a kid. You go buy a CD. A CD is like $20, $25 with tax. No, that's crazy. Remember that, right? You go to the CD store, and you don't have that much money. Like buying a CD was a big deal. And they're all in alphabetical order and stuff like that. Yeah. And you really got to be feeling someone to make that
purchase.
Like, I think there's going to be enough bangers. Like, I'm really feeling this guy. I can only get one CD. Whereas today, stream this. It's a click of the button. You don't really have to pay nothing to check out every CD that you want to. So back in the day, to sell 1 million records, I mean, you had to be bringing something.
This man went 12 times platinum in 3 albums.
Yeah.
In a span of a year and a half. That's crazy.
He's just highlighting DMX's album sales as far as like how successful he is.
For sure.
But I haven't experienced that as far as what Dre's referring to. But with him just saying that, dude, it definitely makes you think like, damn, these dudes really had to be killing something for somebody to spend $25. Especially, like when at that point, you had a lot of artists coming out. That's considered the golden era of rap. So, just for somebody to drop an album and me spend $25, I can't even think about it, dude. Right. That's 1/4 of $100. Like, I mean, you got to
back then too. Like, $100 ain't the same.
It ain't the same, dude. A bag of chips is like 25 cents or 10 cents at this point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, that's dope. So,
talking about all these artists, to me, and maybe because I lived in that era, and Larry, you'll have a lot of insight because you're outside of that. The 90s was prime rap for me.
Yeah,
it was like prime rap. Like that was brick and mortar. Like that's your steak and potatoes rap.
Yeah.
Not saying today there's nobody like doing it, but nothing compares to the 90s now compared to me. It just doesn't. Like you had Outkast in their prime. You had, Pac, Biggie, which of course they didn't make it out of that era. Essentially, like today's rap, I find myself like I listen to everything new that comes out. Most everything. Unless it's like super radio. I don't follow it. But it's just not the same anymore.
No,
it's just not.
For sure.
You got a lot of imitators wanting to be those, I guess, original people, what you might want to say.
How you feel about that, Chris?
I feel exactly the same way. I mean, there's a lot of music there's a lot of music now that go hard.
For sure.
I mean? Like there's a lot of cats that's nowadays that's young. You know what I mean? Like Roddy Ricch, for example, definitely one of my favorite rappers right now. He's fire. Jordan Lucas, nice. We talk about him.
Okay.
There's a couple of cats that got some good music. I don't know. I have a hard time. I don't like comparing stuff to the 90s because I think it's so lopsided. I think it's just so unfair.
Crazy. It's crazy.
It's just the culture was so much different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was way more, to me, it was just way realer. You know what I mean? Not realer in the sense it's like niggas being gangster and all that. I'm just talking about realer, like people really they lived life or death strictly on what they was doing. There's so many different avenues you can go with it nowadays because of the platforms that people have and that they've created for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if I'm not good at rapping, I'll just be a producer. If I'm not good at producer, I'll just be a YouTuber. Like there's dudes who have YouTube channels who probably been rappers before, but get a large amount of success, or they catapult their music careers because of their YouTube channels.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so that for me, like thinking about a Jay-Z, thinking about a Nas, and thinking about a Big and a Pac and some of these legendary rappers, they didn't have that opportunity.
And what's crazy is
so the grind was so different.
Yeah, I was reading. I actually read DMX's book. This is biography, excuse me. And he was around rapping since like the late 80s.
I'm sure.
And it just took him a decade to get where he was, and he finally did it. And so that's what it makes it seem like, oh, he did all this work in a year's time, but this is over a decade, 15 years maybe of work that finally blossomed at once. So
agreed.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The platform was completely
different. It makes you wonder though, like how big of a artist some of these artists would have been, even thinking about athletes, and we talked about Jordan and how much of a brand he was for the NBA, how big of a platform he would have had, or a bigger of an influence he would have had on the world if he had the opportunity to have all these other platforms that, the LeBron James and the Stephen Currys and the Kevin Durant's and these big marquee name players have the opportunity to have now.
Yeah.
That's just something to think about.
For sure.
For sure. It's unreal if you really think about it.
For sure.
Times changed, evolution.
For sure, man. Sure. I think, since we talking about sports, a little bit, and I know we kind of touched on this last week, and a little late to it, but we're going to tap into the Aaron Hernandez documentary, and how we feel about it. I have a very indifferent opinion about it because
let's take 5. Let Larry fix his eye. He's been battling his eye for
I don't know, man.
Minutes.
I don't know.
Can you go wash it out with some water, man?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm
good. You good?
I'm good. Yeah. I'm
okay. So trying to think about the podcast was all over the place. I mean, excuse me, not a podcast, but the damn documentary was all over the place, right? It for me, it went so many different directions, and I felt like they were just trying to put a bunch of shit in the pot and make gumbo. You know what I mean? That didn't really belong there, and they were fishing. And I actually feel bad for him and his family. That man look horrible on that documentary. They made him look like the worst person ever possible on that documentary. And you know what I mean? I don't necessarily agree with some of the decisions he made, but bruh. Yeah.
I watched it. It was eye-opening. But it's hard to watch a documentary that someone can't defend themselves.
Exactly. That was my
You know
issue.
what I mean? Because you could paint me, I'm not the perfect person at all, just as crazy person, right? If you really want to, you know, if you want to do it that way.
It just depends on who you talk to.
So yeah, exactly. And if you listen to some sources and everyone has a view about a person this way or another way, it was kind of tough on him. Did he make the best choices? No, he didn't make the best choices. New England definitely wasn't the best place for him to be. Although the organization is great, he needed to be outside of that environment. Whether that would have changed or not, you know, it's who knows. What do you think about that though, Larry?
I watched it, man, and like it's not funny because it's a serious matter, but I can definitely kind of reflect on before the documentary, dude. As a kid, just me kind of watching football at that point, I was like, hell no, Aaron Hernandez ain't do that, man. Free Aaron Hernandez. Like, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because Aaron Hernandez was a great ass tight end, bro. He was
OJ.
Yeah, bro. He was definitely he was definitely a great asset to the Patriots. And to be honest, bro, I actually think that at that point he was better than Gronk. Like, he for sure was better than Gronk at that point.
Considering when he got drafted, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, but as far as kind of like, you know, staying on topic and going into the documentary, man, the documentary kind of just blew me away, man. It gave me a bunch of different insight. But again, I did have to remember kind of like what Dre said, that the media kind of controls the narrative. So what they can do is they can give you any set of information that's kind of going to make it to where it's clickbait or anything that's going to make you interested. And then they kind of lose sight of what, you know, the real truth is. But at the same time, I did see how they kind of did, like, you know, tests on his brain and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of head trauma, a lot of drugs involved, you know, impact as far as just like his loss. And I mean, like I said, I don't know what's true and what's not true, but I definitely thought it was a great documentary. Like it had
one of the things I didn't like about the documentary, and I'm super like, do what makes you happy. You know, if you're gay, you're gay. That's great. Yeah. But they brought this one guy on there to say, hey, he's gay.
He's talking about his high school teammate.
He's my lover.
And I just didn't feel like that had much like substance to it, and I don't really see like him going down this road if he was. But I just don't like that. Okay, we're bringing this one person, and he has no credibility. We've never seen him before, and it's a high school friend. And we don't
like
have
his whole purpose.
We don't have a whole track record of different, you know, partners he has. And I don't know, man, it's just crazy. Just imagine having your family watch this thing after you're gone, like your kids and stuff like that. And you're not able to respond to it.
Yeah, that was one of my issues with the documentary, Dre, is because whenever they basically, I feel like they put up a wall and they just started throwing a bunch of stuff at it, trying to throw a bunch of stuff at it and hope something stick. Hey, what was your relationship with like your parents, your mom and your dad?
For sure.
Your mom, did you have a good relationship with your mom? Your mom dated your cousin's ex-boyfriend or something like that. And then, was he a homosexual? Was he, did he have head trauma? Was he using drugs? Was he a gang member? I'm like, bro, really? I'm like, shit. Yeah, like, how much stuff y'all gonna throw at this wall and hope it stick? You know what I mean? And again, talking about the weirdo that was on the video, just a random, like, his whole purpose of the video for me, or the documentary, was just to paint Aaron Hernandez as a homosexual. Like, that was his whole purpose. Yeah. Like, he didn't talk about nothing else.
Right.
Like, he just talked about his sexuality and then Aaron Hernandez's sexuality. And then, so for me, that kind of threw me off. I was kind of like, all right, cool. If he was, he was. Whatever it is, what it is. Yeah. I don't think that he killed Odin Lloyd because he was trying to hide the fact that he was gay from the world. Like, I don't think he killed that man because of that. Yeah. Yeah, for me, it could have been a lot better. I just didn't like how they just tried to make this man just like the worst person to ever walk the
this is their script. Like, he's
he's just a piece of shit. Like, just him. This is him. Like, damn, bro.
This is somebody's kids. This is somebody's
you know. And again, no respect for what he did or what he was convicted of doing. Like, don't get it twisted. We do not condone any type of violence. Like, don't get it twisted, but also do at the same time. It's really difficult to view something and you only got one side. Potentially one side of the story, right? You don't have that person there to defend themselves in any form or fashion. So yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it was all right.
And then you got other people there that were part of it, but he was pushing for this. He did this. So now you're able to push all that onto somebody else that's no longer there. So I mean, it was eye-opening to have like that perspective of it, but I just definitely don't agree with the documentary.
For sure. And then a question that I kind of developed, and just to kind of like agree with what Chris said when he said that like I said, we don't condone violence or anything of that sort, and I'm not saying that it's okay. But the question that I had, or something that I kind of found to be intriguing for me, was I don't know if you guys paid attention to at the end when the victim's family, you know, kind of like how they had the law to where if he died and he took it back to trial, the daughter will receive the money or whatever.
Oh yeah,
and they took it to the Supreme Court to get it overturned. How do you guys feel about that? Because I feel like ultimately, okay, if the guy's in jail, he did his time, he died, he's not alive anymore. If that's stopping them from receiving blessings or like any monetary gains that they're gonna get, then I understand that. But just his daughter receiving money when her father's not there anymore, I don't really see the reason.
You're talking about him receiving her receiving the money from
the money.
From
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they had to go. Like, you got to understand, the victim's family had to go and fight that to stop her from getting the money when she turned a certain age. So my ideal is like, if it's not stopping you from receiving compensation, and he's already listed as a murderer and he's dead already, like what satisfaction are you gonna get from stopping this girl who only has one parent at that time? You know what I'm saying? Because he's not receiving any benefits from that as far as like him not being alive.
And he pretty much sacrificed himself for his daughter, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so the way I feel in the end is it's kind of messed up. You know, like it's not her fault that her father did this or whatever the case is. Saying? So, you know, at that point, he kind of just did the samurai thing and took himself out for his family's benefit. And honestly, I mean, hats off to you for, I guess, doing that, taking care of your family by all means. You know, I don't, like I said, condone violence or anything like that. So I didn't like the way it ended like that.
Yeah, I was like, damn. I mean, because like at the end of the day, he's widely regarded as a murderer. Like if you look at the evidence, bro, all signs point to him. So it's like nobody was like when he died, oh, he didn't do it, or you know what I'm saying? Everybody had already formed an opinion that he definitely killed him. So it wasn't like, okay, like, you know, your son's legacy was tarnished or anything like that. You know, it's just like at the end of the day, if his daughter is going to get the money, like what's the actual gain in that situation? You know what I'm saying? But again, I do want to address that, you know, there's a lot of empathy for them. I'm not trying to offend them or anything like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I've experienced that before. But my only question is, you know, like how do you guys feel about that? I'm not saying that it's wrong or anything of that sort.
Yeah, I'm on the same wavelength with you on that one. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, a law is a law. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they try to, again, he killed himself hopefully with the benefit of his family benefiting from it. I think that if he wouldn't had that conversation with his at the end girlfriend or fiance, whatever she was to him, if he wouldn't have had that conversation with them, I think they would have never investigated it. I don't think they would have ever thought that he was doing it with that intention, right? Because he mentioned to her like, hey, you're going to be rich. And with him doing that, I think it rose all these flags, and then the family was like, "Oh no, he's not going to be rich. They're not going to be rich
for sure."
You know, blah 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 blah.
For sure.
But again, that's a mourning family.
Yeah, we don't know.
I'm not in their position.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how they feel about it emotionally. I can only imagine. Yeah. So they felt like they needed to do what they thought was best, and again, I'm indifferent. I mean, that's up to them. It doesn't affect me. I don't really care one way or the other. I mean, if they got the money, it would have been great. If they didn't, oh well.
Yeah, because he's dead. I mean, he's dead.
At the end of the day,
the person that did it, he's dead. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I feel it.
Yeah.
That's tough. Man, this quarantine, when do y'all think? So thinking about where we at right now, what is it? The 19th.
19th.
April 19th. We've been in quarantine for over a month now.
Wow.
Really, we've been in quarantine. Well, I stopped working on the 16th, but when did you stop working?
Dude, I haven't been to work. I want to say it's been like, it's like at the end of March, or probably like 27th, 26th. Somewhere in that range.
You still working though, right?
Barely. It was very difficult though, because you know, like
I mean,
when you try to work with the general public in there,
you know what I'm saying? He's the boss.
Quarantine is kind of tough. So things have definitely slowed down compared to the last couple of years. Quarantine life is different, man. Working less, so that means more hours with the family.
For sure.
Which is cool.
Gotta appreciate that.
Is the amount of things you can do is severely limited. You know?
Sure, absolutely.
Board games, walks in the neighborhood. Those have increased.
We got a bike, and I love biking, man. I never really thought that I would like biking. I think because I don't like running.
Got you.
You know, and I don't mind walking, but I would rather bike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that seat has just been tearing me up because the shit is uncomfortable.
Need some extra foam on there,
I need
bro.
something on that joint,
Bro,
bro. We be getting drugged. Me and the wife, we just be getting killed.
That seat is
bullshit.
killer, bro. That seat is
you trying
killer.
to do the stand up thing?
Bullshit, bro.
Stand up.
I try to get
not
a little head start. I'm like,
Bro.
and just trying to get a little head start so I can stand up on that joint.
It's not even your legs, bro. Like people be like, man, it's working your legs, dude. I can live with my legs, bro. It's my goddamn ass from the seat, bro. I cannot take this damn seat,
painful,
bro.
man.
It hurts, dude. I be having to stand up on the bike. Like I be having to stand up on it because I do not want to. It's just uncomfortable, bro.
You,
I need to invest in a bike with a good seat, man.
For sure. I need to look into. I was like, hey, we need to get those bike shorts.
Something.
Bike pants. I'm like, I'm not wearing that shit. I was like, shit, you might be comfortable if you wear them. But we got bikes, you know, just normal stuff, doing the video game. I play in the video games.
You in the video game?
For sure,
okay.
bro. Watching some TV shows right now. I'm binge watching Ballers.
Ballers is dope. Ballers is dope.
Season 3 right now.
You on season 3? So you started from season 1?
I started all the way from season 1.
All right. Season 1 was interesting, man. Did you know Ricky is Denzel's son?
Yeah.
That's
John
dope.
Washington.
Yeah, that's dope, bro.
It's funny because he actually played football in real life.
Yeah, pro ball.
He played
pro ball.
He played for Canada, right?
I think it was Canada after.
Yeah,
if I'm not
he played
mistaken.
for a while.
Yeah,
so watching that, also too trying to catch up on Ozark. The show is slow.
I tried it.
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. It's good. The first couple of episodes were like good, just kind of slow. Just because the show's real dark.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
The whole show is a sense, yeah.
The lighting is just all dark.
So you know what happens? Sometimes they use the wrong lighting.
Okay.
So they have to come back with a filter for the show. And it'll give that effect throughout the whole show. Because they messed up the lighting during it. I'm not saying that's why, but it could be.
Yeah, it's cool. We binge watch All American. I love that show.
All American, yeah. All American's dope.
Yeah. Because what else y'all watch? What y'all watching?
Man, Tiger King took over the nation, bro.
Tiger King took over.
Ridiculous.
Tiger King did.
It was
I
entertaining.
watched that bullshit. My wife watched it though. But I'm not watching it.
The problem with this country is, right? Carol Baskins.
Carol Baskins. That goddamn Carol Baskins. Hey, bro, hilarious. Tons of memes I've been seeing, bro.
I can give y'all take a minute. I'll just listen.
You know what? For a guy like that lived in Oklahoma, he did life to the fullest. He's not a good guy, not a great guy at all. Which is crazy. I heard President Trump talking to a reporter this week saying, hey, what do you think about a pardon? He's like, hey, I'm going to look into that. And, you know, about this Tiger King thing. Funny. That's how big it's got during quarantine. Dude. We're talking about President Trump talking about Tiger King during a press conference.
Yeah, dude.
It took over the country.
That's crazy.
Definitely more important shit to be talking about.
There is, but we're talking about entertainment, so it is what it is.
As far as like addressing the Tiger King, and I'm going to get on shows too. As far as addressing the Tiger King, bro, like, I'm going to just tell you how I ran into it, dude. I'm on Netflix. And I was just looking at like, what else is there to watch? You know what I'm saying? Because we on this quarantine, so you pretty much knocked out everything that you've seen that was interesting to you.
For sure.
So all of a sudden, the first thing I see, bro, is this crazy ass white guy with his shirt off, with guns and tigers. Like, what else is more interesting than that? Like, I was like, damn, let me check out.
And he had a mullet.
Yeah, bro, he had a weak ass mullet. I was like, dude, let me check this out.
What?
Bro, let me check this out. And the first thing I seen is like, the next thing I know, dude, he's like fighting tigers. He's like attacking a woman named Carol Baskins. He's stepping in there with Tiger. He's making tons of dough. And it really just kind of opened my eyes on something. I didn't know that was that big. Like, I didn't know like the tiger market was so rewarding as far as like monetary value, bro. They make a lot of money off of those tigers. But I can see why everybody's interested in it, bro, because I watched it in one day just off of like pure craziness, dude. Like, you see one of his first husbands killed himself, like just like on camera. You know what I'm saying? You see him getting sued, running for office. It's just like, dude, what the hell is this guy doing? You can't
say that presidential commercial wasn't like the best commercial of all time. Bro. He said, I'm gay. I've tried lots of drugs. I'm broke. This was his president. You seen it, right?
No, I never watched it.
Oh my goodness,
You
bro.
can tell me though.
Yeah, that's his president commercial. Like that is his president commercial.
So he was running for president?
Yes.
Not president. I think it was like governor. Is it
he
governor?
lost governor, but then he was going to go for president.
He was
right?
going to go for president?
I think so. I believe so.
Okay. I mean,
I might be mistaken. I was up late trying to watch it,
bro. In Oklahoma, they was rocking with him, bro. He's giving out condoms with his face on it and everything.
Yes. And what was his slogan for the condoms?
Condoms? I don't remember the slogan. I don't remember what was it?
I think it was like "Don't get fucked" or something like that.
Something
crazy. Yeah, like so. You know what's crazy? I heard about this when we were over there at Verizon on Westheimer.
Oh,
Edgar was telling me, and I was stationed in Oklahoma for years. I didn't know about it.
Never
He's
heard
like,
about
man,
it.
I'm thinking about taking off to Oklahoma. This was 5 years ago. They have a tiger park up there. I was like, that's crazy.
So you're thinking about it now.
And now, in retrospect, that was what he was talking about.
That's crazy.
And,
before this blowing up.
Yeah, and that's it was wild. Man, they had some crazy characters in there, man. They had the dude came and took the whole business from him. Like set him up kind of on this thing. And,
oh yeah,
yeah, man.
Doesn't he still have it now though?
Yeah, he still has it.
Something like
he still has it.
Yeah, he still has it.
Because then they try to pass a law or something like that where they try to make it illegal.
Yeah.
But did they pass it?
Nah,
they never passed the law.
No, they didn't, bro.
What happens is what they did is they took all the tiger babies to like Senate and Congress or whatever, and they had all of them take pictures. Everyone wants to take a picture with the tiger cub. Trust me, you see them, you're like, oh, I want to take a picture. So those people can't pass a law to saying, oh, we don't want tiger cubs
when they're in pictures.
When they all had pictures with them already. They were real smart the way they angled it. Yeah. So that Carol Baskins couldn't get it through. Yeah.
Do you think Carol Baskins killed her husband?
Absolutely. If I know one thing, yes, that guy is
that's
done. Where else is he? Really? Like where
else is he, bro?
In the way that she filed for the money, like 5 years to the day after and everything.
And made sure the kids ain't get nothing.
Made sure and changed the wording in the contract for his disappearance.
Yeah.
Absolutely killed her.
That's crazy. So just because you didn't watch it, so Carol Baskins is like pretty much if Joe is the protagonist, she's the antagonist, or they're like opposites.
Because she had her own ranch.
She has her own, right? Okay. And she's saying because she gives them a certain amount of space and all the stuff that she's not doing, how he's kind of taking advantage of their rights or he's messing over them and all of this stuff.
So was she like the landlord essentially?
Nah, man.
He bought land from her?
Nah, literally, she's just somebody else on the opposing end who's looking and basically kind of hating, bro. Like he's getting booked across the world for his great personality.
Okay, gotcha.
And the Tigers, and she's like calling everybody, hey, he does this to Tigers, and hey, the Tigers needs this amount of space to grow, and they're not this, and she's doing the exact same thing. But the gist of what you get out of it is that she's a way smarter business person than him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's putting her in the camera. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want to do to that damn Carol Baskins over there.
Too much meth. That's the problem. Way too much meth.
Too much, bro. So she ends up suing him. And I don't correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember exactly what she got out of him or what was the base of her lawsuit. But he ended up having to owe her like tons of money. He had to pay her a certain amount a month. And she had like special stipulations on it where she was even going to take his parents' house, bro. Like
well, that was the thing. They had came to an agreement, but she was like, well, if you can't make the payment, then I'm going to take your parents' house. It's not a big house. It's just like a regular little house. And he's like, nah, I got to draw the line there. Like, you're not going to take my parents' house in case we have bad times or something like that. But in the end, I fell out of love for Joe Exotic, man, even though because of the stuff he was doing. They're saying that like the 8 tigers.
He killed the like tigers.
Like I'm a big animal lover.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, so he started getting in for the money and not for the love of the animals no more. So
I feel you.
It's crazy. You need to check that out. You just don't have to do it, Chris.
I don't know.
There's nothing else on Netflix.
My wife said she watched it and she said she didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Okay.
So I just don't think I'm gonna be that interested in it.
I can see that.
How long is the episode?
It's like I think like an hour, right, Dre?
Each episode is like an hour, and it's like what, 6 or 7
yeah,
episodes?
something like that. They just came out with the new one. I haven't watched it yet.
The new one, and then I can't spoil it.
Depends on how much longer we quarantine for.
Yeah,
quarantine for sure till June. Like it might get some views
for sure.
But it's still number 1 on Netflix, though. I know that for a fact.
The new episode is kind of like those like reunion episodes.
Yeah, it's like a post.
Yeah, when you kind of see where everybody is at now, how they feel about it, and then like
Joe Exotic still in prison, right?
He is. Yeah. He is. So
what kind of sentence did he get?
I think life. Yeah, he's in there for life.
It was a murder for hire.
Oh, yeah, he's out of there.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the show, just like you're saying.
He's out of there.
Mullet, tigers, all this craziness, murder for hire. I'm like, how can I not watch this? This is not even like you can't write this.
You can't.
There's no way.
Everything's involved.
Yeah,
everything.
It's a wild show, man.
Everything. So then just kind of transitioning into what we were talking about earlier. I remember Chris was saying what you said Tiger King, right? What other show? Is there any other shows you've been watching?
Man, I'll be honest, the shows we're not really getting new movies coming out.
Okay.
I haven't even seen Bad Boys 2 yet. I wanted this.
The third one?
Really?
Yeah, third one.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
We saw it in the movie theaters.
Yeah, I seen it. It was nice. Yeah.
It was pretty decent. But
nice.
outside of that, I've ran out of stuff to kind of watch
Okay.
that interests me. Like I tried All American, I made it halfway through,
Okay.
but like it's a lot of drama.
Yeah.
Bro,
It is.
I started
It is kind of. But you think about it, they in high school. So if you wrap your head around that, you can watch it.
Yeah.
I had to wrap my head around that because I was like, bro, this shit is annoying. And then I was like, damn, babe, they're in high school, huh?
Right.
Did you realize?
Yeah, okay.
Did you realize they're not even seniors? Like
No,
they're talking about next season. Like
Yeah,
I'm
they
like, bro,
juniors.
they're talking about next season. Like these people not graduating. They're
They
like,
did
damn, how many next year?
They did two seasons off of 1 year.
1 year?
And they do in the summertime.
God damn.
Yeah, because football season started at the beginning of the year, right?
Okay.
So they go through the middle of the fall.
I'm like,
And end towards beginning of winter.
I liked
and
it.
then they got the whole second semester to do. And the second season was like the second semester.
That's fire,
And
man.
then when they start the new season, it's probably going to be the same thing. And
Yeah,
the same thing.
I'm like, damn, these kids should have already been graduated.
Oh my gosh, should we like 25?
Hey man, but then just to kind of throw another one in the mix. I know what y'all was saying as far as Tiger King and that. I'm watching For Life, man. I think right now I was talking to a friend, man.
Oh, I heard about
50 shit. I mean, 50 Cent is like 2 or 2 right now for TV shows, dude. And then I mean,
because come on what ABC?
It comes on ABC on Mondays. You can catch it on Tuesday on not Netflix, Hulu. And I think it's really interesting, man. Just to kind of give you the synopsis of it, it kind of focuses on a guy who's imprisonated for like a RICO charge. Like he gets like being in like illegal drug corporation inside of his club. So he's a club owner. So what happens is he's not involved with any of the drugs, and like one of the people that co-owns it is, and he actually flips on him. So what happens is they're kind of accusing him of the whole RICO case, and they offered him a plea deal for like 25. And he's like, dude, I'm not taking a plea deal for 25. So what happens is he goes to trial, and like I said, the co-owner flipped on him. So they got a witness. Like they got a witness right next to him. So at that point, of course, they buried him. Though, like he got life. So he's in there for life. And it kind of chronicles him getting his law degree while in prison, like in prison. And what happens is he starts fighting different cases for people on the inside. And then he also learns that there are multiple corrupt policemen or congressmen or like attorneys that accused him as far as the crime. So he's just kind of making his way into getting like beating his own case for his own case. And what's crazy is, dude, it's a true story. So it really happened. I mean, of course, in all true stories, there are some dramatic effects to kind of make it.
For TV.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, dude, I would definitely recommend anybody out there who is in quarantine and looking for something to watch. I think it's awesome, dude, and I'm actually kind of anticipating next Tuesday, dude, because it's a big moment.
So you watching it while it's going on there?
Yeah,
like,
man. Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
I think a couple of good recommendations I can make for some TV shows, depending on what you're into. I like Snowfall. If you haven't watched that, you need to binge watch the hell out of that.
I like
it comes on FX.
Yeah.
That show is flaming.
Hey, bro.
I love it, bro. Flaming is my word for the day.
Yeah.
I normally don't say that shit.
It's on.
So it's for the day. That's my word.
It's on.
You said what?
It's on repeat with
you. It's on Hulu as well. So I mean, because actively it's not coming on FX, so it's on Hulu now. So you can. Everybody's using these like little streaming platforms. So check out Hulu. It's definitely on Hulu. Season 1 and 2, and I think 3 too.
Me and the wifey watched a show called Animal Kingdom.
Okay,
I've seen it before. It comes on FX too.
I've never seen it.
It's about 4 brothers and their mom, Smurf, and then the grandson. And basically what they do is they like not necessarily hitman, they just thieves. Okay. Essentially. They just rob people, they steal a bunch of shit, like big hits. Like they getting $200, $300, $400, $5,000 licks, $1 million licks. Like it's fire. You can check that show out too. It's called Animal Kingdom.
How much I look at it?
And then what else am I watching on the regular? Obviously Atlanta, but Atlanta ain't came out with 2 new seasons in like 2 years.
Waiting on
that boy Chris speaking my language, bro. That Atlanta is nice.
Did he steal this off my notes? I just wrote down Atlanta right now.
That Atlanta is nice.
We're just waiting on a new one.
Homeland and Ray Donovan.
Okay.
Ray Donovan, if
Those
you
are-
ever watch,
those are two shows I gotta
Ray
look at.
Donovan is a fixer, kind of like Olivia Pope from off of Scandal.
Okay.
But they come on Showtime, so they can show everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
The
it's not
premium
like
channels.
Premium.
Yeah.
So it come on Showtime. Ray Donovan is good. It has 6 or 7 seasons. And Homeland's last season just happened as well. And of course, I'm a big Empire fan. So I like Empire, bro. It's over now, but I like the first 3 or 4 seasons, and then after that, I just got hooked and just said I just need to go ahead and ride this one out. You know what I mean? It's real dramatic, real live drama, like you were saying, but I like that show as well.
What's funny is, man, Empire is funny to me because, dude, I remember this was like a few years ago when it first premiered, and I was big on Empire, bro. Like I think that was one of the first shows I had binge watched. Like I was big on Empire. And then after that first season, I was just done. I was like, yeah, I'm not watching this anymore. Like Power just took over from that.
Everybody was
Power
like,
just stole me, bro.
Empire.
Power stole me.
Different.
Yeah, it's super different.
The only thing, bro, that's comparable to Power will be Snowfall. Kind of, sort of, but it's still different.
Still different, bro.
You know what I mean?
Still
it feels
different.
so different because of the air.
Dude, Snowfall is one of the best shows I've seen.
Snowfall better than Power?
I think Snowfall is better than Power. Snowfall is better than Power, dude. That Snowfall.
It's legit.
Yeah, bro. Snowfall is nice, bro. Snowfall, I'm just like, bro, I can't wait for Snowfall,
act,
bro.
You can act, dude.
Bro.
The whole show is God.
You know what's crazy? Like how so I just noticed, and I don't know about the other shows because some of them I haven't watched. 3 of the shows that we just mentioned, the lead actors are from London, and they're not from the United States.
No,
but they've been picking up on our accents well.
I didn't know Buddy from All American, the main Spencer. I didn't know he was from the UK.
He's from the UK, but they talk like they're from Crenshaw. Like I was like, bro, I could have swore they sound just like Nip. I'm like, dude, this guy's from Crenshaw, bro. Then you sound like Nip. Yeah. Bro, then you see him on like these interviews, yeah, mate. And I'm like, what?
That's like Idris Elba on The Wire. Yeah. I had no idea until after I watched all The Wire that Idris Elba wasn't over here. I'm like, what is this?
Bro, these guys, these guys are great actors. Even the guy from For Life, man. He's not American either. But the main character is not American, bro.
That's crazy.
So that's dope.
Fuck these Americans. You get these motherfuckers from the UK.
Yes, they got it.
They breed a different type of black folk in the UK.
For sure. So kind of staying on the topic of quarantine. What's your guys' favorite quarantine snack so far, man? Because I know all 3 of us, bro. We heavy in the gym, big on lifts, bro, big on nutrition and stuff like that.
Ain't no lifting over here.
Ain't no lifting, bro. So it's like, tell me what y'all snacking on right now, bro. Because I'm curious, bro. Because I'm getting fatter by the day. So what you snacking on, Dre? I know Dre's disciplined, so I'm interested in this.
I just don't. I'm not really snacking so much.
Okay.
It's just I eat different kind of foods every day. I can't just fall into like eating the same type of thing. So I'm always trying to find something different. Like right now, I really want some crawfish. I don't know you really mess with the crawfish.
Nah, man.
I really want some crawfish right now.
Crawfish is gross.
It's legit.
That shit nasty.
Gotta be nice and spicy with the corn and the potatoes.
I'm not really. I
never ate it till I came down here.
Yeah.
Until I came down here.
For sure. It's a certain spot. I'm not really. So I'm
but it's not really a snack. So
I'm not really.
Food though.
Yeah, I'm not really big. I'm not really big on crawfish. I can eat it. I'm not really big on it. The only reason why I'm not big on it because the taste is cool, bro. Like I like crawfish. It's just I don't get full. Like I'm not gonna sit there for.
So that's what I ran into at first, but that was because I was too slow at doing it.
Okay.
Once I kept doing it, and I just got super quick. Oh, I could tear them up.
Yeah,
just pound after pound.
Yeah.
And, it's hitting.
I be beating chicks, bro. Like I be like opening boys up quick. Like I'm competitive, chicks. Bro. No chicks. Because most of the time when I eat I'm only gonna eat crawfish on a date. If a girl is like, hey, like let's go out on a date and they want to eat crawfish, I'll eat it. I'm not by myself going to go eat crawfish.
No, not by yourself. It's a group activity or something
social.
like that.
It's like a social event. But I'm saying, like, I'm so competitive, I'm racing with the girl to see if I can beat her. Because I know she's eating way more crawfish than I am. I'm
trying to make sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to win, bro. I'm definitely trying to win. Chris, what
got snacks? Eating snacks, Chris?
What about you as far as the snacks?
Favorite snack? Man.
Yeah.
It's not
for
nothing
quarantine.
To do with quarantine though.
What is?
I would have ate this shit non-quarantine.
What's the snack, bro?
Bro, the Chex turtle mix.
Oh, the Chex.
So fire.
The Chex is nice. The Chex is nice, bro.
And cherry sours.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
That's you right there?
Quarantine.
That's you right there?
I haven't had it in the last couple of weeks.
That's crazy.
Boy, trying to do that cut. He said,
trying to do that cut.
Off of it.
He didn't want to drink. He didn't want to drink for the cut. He come back, I'm gonna have to get some of that, man. I'm gonna have to get some of that juice.
I didn't want to, man. Yeah, I hate cutting. To be honest,
I feel you, bro. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Because I gotta change my food so much.
Yeah.
Because I eat like just whatever.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm not cutting, but then when I'm cutting, I'm just like, all right, I guess I'll eat this hummus and these carrots.
hey, for sure. So I'm finna tell y'all like the craziest thing, bro, like for my quarantine snack, bro. And it's crazy. It's funny to me. But I get these little like gummy, like the little wild berry purple lifesavers. Like you know how you got like the purple lifesavers in the little bag? The little bag, right?
The sour
yeah. The sour was good. I don't go sour, I just do straight gummy, but the wild berry flavor. And then just to make me feel like I'm doing right with being healthy, I go grab a Gatorade Zero. That's my snack, bro. That's my pack. And I know, bro, I've been eating so much for quarantine. I know exactly how much it is. It's 5:36 at the window every time, bro. Every time. How many times have you bought that?
You buy it at least how many times a week?
I've been eating it 3-4 times a week. 3-4 times a week, bro. I mean,
you're so tired of that,
bro. It's good. It smacks every time, bro. And I get like the little yellow.
That should give you a toothache,
bro. I get the little yellow Gatorade Zero. I don't know what flavor that is. Like, you know how you had the green Gatorade? It's like yellowish green. It's like the original Gatorade.
The lemon lime?
The lemon one, yeah. I get that one with Zero, bro. I'll be like, hey, I ain't getting no sugar from this. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with these wild berries, baby.
You get all the sugar from the wild
all
berries.
All the sugar from the wild
That's
berries,
why. You don't
bro.
need no sugar from the
all the sugar, man.
I'm not even understanding how this is appetizing or fulfilling in the least.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. I'm not telling you to try it, bro. But to me, it's I don't know, bro. It's good, dude.
Good, I don't know
it's
about the
good.
Zero, though.
It's definitely good. One of the questions I wanted to ask you guys since we kind of on the quarantine situation. I've been having a lot of time to think. What are some of the skills you guys have walked out with as far as like quarantine, or like what are some of the things that like now you got time that you kind of focusing on as far as quarantine? Because I know a lot of people or a lot of viewers that are watching it, they got a lot of time, and I've been seeing a lot of people saying, man, if you don't walk away with a skill, it's not that you didn't have time, it's just that you wasn't disciplined. You know what I'm saying? So I've been trying to make sure, me kind of starting off, that I've been trying to find ways of like getting passive income. Because you know I'm one of the hosts that have an actual 9-to-5. And I feel like now, dude, when I look online or just everything I see, everybody has something else that they're pitching besides like a normal 9-to-5. So I've been trying to find my like interest or what I could do just to kind of flip 100 to 500, bro, or 100 to 300.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I've been trying to like find other ways of doing that. So that's been a lot of the things that I've been kind of focused on. Dre, you got anything you've been doing?
Really, the whole quarantine thing, it slows me down negatively. No, really, because how I make games is I live really, really heavy. You know, I'm not a rapper and stuff like that. That's what I do. As far as work, things need to be open for me to rip and run. And stuff like usual. So this is difficult, but what I did is, okay, now's the time I can sit and evaluate properties. That's why I'm buying a house and closing in a month and things like that.
Congrats, by the way.
Appreciate that. Take care of things here at the place. Make sure all the cars, maintenance, things like that. So just to make sure all my ducks are lined up so we're ready to go back out there. The whole to-do list is good. Everything else is, I read books non-quarantine, so that doesn't really change. If anything else, I've watched more TV and I play some more video games than I normally never would have. So hang out with the family. Like I said, man, walks and little things. It's not the real exercise I like, but you do, and you make the best of the situation.
It is.
You know what I mean? Maybe not for you, but I kind of feel like people use this as an opportunity who are normally pretty lazy people in general. They're like, oh, let me do this now. You know what I mean? Not necessarily, like I said,
for sure.
Not really much, bro. I mean, I've been using this a lot of this time to spend time with my son.
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say that.
And like after I leave the gym, I get home like say 7:30 at the earliest, sometimes 8 o'clock on an average night. And little man sleep. He sleep. He get into bed around 7:30
for sure.
You know what I mean? And so me being home, being able to put him to sleep, put him in the bed 7:30 every single night. me being there when he wake up in the morning and being able to play with him and spend time with him during the day, it's priceless. It's gonna be funny because when I go back to work, when I go back to the gym again, he's gonna be, where's Daddy at? Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
So used to seeing his face.
He's gonna be so used to seeing me, and then he's gonna be used to seeing me just on the weekends again, primarily. Because I would literally see him in the morning before I go to work for like 15 minutes.
That's dope.
And then I'm out.
You out right there.
But I feel like he said, like, we're already creative people.
We already doing shit to begin
so
with.
Now we slow down and look what we're doing today. We're doing a podcast that I normally wouldn't have time to do. Right? So now we got to set a structure like, okay, we can be here these days and do things. So I think just as whole, we're I mean, you can do anything, man. The only person that's telling you not to do something in most cases, unless you're younger and you have parents, is yourself. You're the only person in your own thoughts that's actually stopping you from living your best life. You know, it takes a lot of risk, takes a lot of guts. But yeah, I mean,
for sure.
Yeah,
I think the fear that has been created around the coronavirus, and it's serious, obviously, and we're not taking it lightly. Mm-hmm. People probably looking like, whoa, they're not 6 feet apart and shit like that. First off, our conversation that we having right here ain't no different than us going to the grocery store.
Exactly, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna catch coronavirus,
that's the same way
I'm
I
gonna get the shit at the
feel.
grocery
That's the same way I feel, bro.
Because motherfuckers ain't 6 feet apart in the house.
No.
Right. But you know what? Outside of this, I have done a great job on
doing social distancing.
For sure, bro.
Amazing
That's the
job.
only interaction I have with people outside.
Now, this is the issue. They're talking about, hypothetically, here in a couple of weeks, opening stuff back up, right? There's always going to be an outlier, a person that has it, that's carrying it, doesn't know they have it, showing symptoms, there's not enough tests. This may be unfortunate, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I feel like it may be a time till it's just a matter of time till everybody gets it.
For sure.
That's just the way I kind of feel. Yeah. That's the reality of it. Now, it's very unfortunate. The reality is very unfortunate for people with older people, respiratory issues. And, you know, I wish the best for you.
Yeah.
But we can't just stay locked down forever. The economy
the economy can't handle it.
You know, people can only handle it for so long. So, you know, if it goes back to normal here in a couple of weeks, I mean, some people are going to have to make that choice whether they really want to go back to the normal life and how that's going to work out with their jobs and stuff. So there's some serious questions that have to be answered at that point in time.
Man. Yeah, man, that's dope. That's dope. I just kind of wanted to get you guys insight on that, man, as far as like the quarantine and stuff like that. He kind of just actually took what I was going to say next, and I was going to ask you guys, how do you feel about, because I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the news about stuff opening up as far as like us kind of transitioning into opening up smaller businesses and non-essential businesses. Yeah. So do you feel like the timeline that have you seen the timeline?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I have not. So
you haven't seen it?
Yeah.
So far it's looking like, I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong, I think it's 26th, 27th, or the week before, like the last week of the month, you're going to start seeing, they're going to start doing to-go orders for non-essential businesses. So I know right now they got like fast food restaurants that are already doing to-go, but like Best Buy and like places that are closed that are not essential, they're going to start doing to-go, meaning that they're going to kind of change the way they do business to make it a lot more healthy, and they're going to start opening up, right? And then on the last day of the month is when our stay-at-home order is going to expire. And supposedly they're not going to renew it. So what that means is after this month, starting May 1st, you're going to see it to where per the government, we're going to kind of be going back into just the everyday life that we were living before. Not saying that people are not going to be cautious. One of the things that they're going to try to enforce is us wearing masks a lot more. So in the open, you're going to be not forced, but they're going to recommend you wearing a mask. They still want you to do social distance. And you know, stuff like that. So I was gonna ask you, Chris, how did you feel? Because I know Chris actually works at the gym. So how do you feel about the timeline as far as like it going on? Like, you feel like, should we wait? Because I know, like, I was looking at Canada. In Canada, they took, you know, like right now they're telling them, hey, you know, like, we're gonna pay you $2,000 a month. You know, stay at home. Let's try to make sure we beat this, whatever. I don't know how their economy works, but some people are saying that they would much rather United States take that approach versus kind of rushing us right back out. So I wanted to kind of like get a feel for, you know, how do you feel about it? Especially you being in the gym to where you got pathogens everywhere, bro. People are sweating. Like, I know a lot of times I'm on the treadmill, like right next to somebody, or you know what I'm saying, I'm on the bench and like, and Dre's, I can attest that Dre is one of those people. He's super germophobic, bro. So we'll be on the bench or whatever. I'm trying to knock it out and get out the way, bro. I'm trying to hit the weights, move out the way. This dude gonna clean everything down, bro, and that's just me, like, you know what I'm saying. And like, I'm with him, bro. But a lot of times I could be like, man, fuck this. Let's just hit this way.
I don't know who was here last. No, I gotta clean all my stuff.
I feel you. How you feel?
I'm indifferent. I want us to open, but also too, I want us to be safe.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's a sticky situation. There's really no way to be.
Yeah.
There's ways to be safe, but again, I don't want to be in the gym with a mask on. Like, to me, that's just not a good look. It's not even. It's just gonna be uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, I have to talk to people consistently. That just sounds terrible.
Pulling it down or whatever.
It ain't gonna save me anything. Nah. I got a beard. It ain't gonna help me like that. So it's tough, man. I feel like a lot of the stuff that they're saying in the media to begin with really is just a time saver.
For sure. For sure, man. For sure, dude.
Like,
I understand though, like Italy did it completely incorrectly. So everyone got sick at once. Their hospitals couldn't save people because it was just too many people. So, you know, the progression thing is pretty okay because some more people will get it. The hospitals can maybe maintain or do most of those people. So, I mean, it's a route. We got to go back to normal at some point, you know? So it is.
We can't live in fear for the next 6 or 7 months.
Yeah, that's not really living.
And to be completely honest with you, whether we open back up now or not, there's still going to be that large amount of people who are going to be afraid to go out. Do anything, right? And it'll be socially acceptable for them to say, "Hey, I don't feel like going anywhere because I'm afraid I'm gonna get corona or COVID-19." So I mean, irregardless of what the government does or whoever makes the decision to say, hey, let's go ahead and open up the world again and open up Houston again and open up, you know, all these other areas of the country, people still can use their own personal discretion to determine whether or not they want to actually go to work or to get out in the world, right? And jobs and companies aren't going to force people to go back to work. Like, people aren't going to be put in a predicament like, hey, look, if you don't come back to work, you're going to lose your job. How bad a look would that be? You know what I mean? I don't foresee that happening. Some companies might do it because there's some companies out there who just don't give a shit. But I see the vast majority of companies not doing that. That just wouldn't be a good look. You know? So,